Thanks for joining, everyone. Everyone is there. We're going to get started. This will be recorded, of course, to give you opportunity to listen after, or of course share and post elsewhere. Don't forget to invite anyone you know if you want to get them to jump in. This is, of course, the first town hall for NFAi, hosted on Discord, and today's date is the 27th, depending on country you are in, 27th of February 2023. And I want to thank everyone for attending, of course, talking about, of course, NFAi, and we are with no other but Umber, the CEO and legend of NFAi. And yeah, it's really good to be here.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us here, and the time to talk to us about everything that's kind of gone on. Just to kind of recap, I think aside from waiting on Shibarium news and boxing matches and whatnot, we did put out a little document last week that 40,000 people, I think, the Twitter stats were saying, and we more secrets because of course corporate intelligence is very, very important with the project. There's a lot of AI, quote unquote AI projects, or even some legitimate ones that were kind of piggybacking off of our first white paper, and we made sure that we only put in kind of the let's put it the bare bones of what we were doing, and we're very quiet about exactly what we were doing on the Shibarium side for a lot of reasons, right? And also just out of respect for that team. And so we've been able to kind of expose exactly what we're doing. So the two big points being, Athena is not just one AI. Anyone who's in the data science or even the finance field, they kind of recognize that pretty early. It's kind of like putting your cargo on just one ship, and you hit a storm, you're going to lose everything. But you put on 3 ships, you lose a portion. Right? Hedging is huge. Risk management is very, very huge to us. So it's pretty obvious that we weren't going to just put out one bot. The basic idea behind these is about one Eurolet is built like an index fund, pretty low to moderate leverage on it, and is jumping between these 35 different tokens of DYDX and making decisions accordingly. Second one is a what's called a sentiment analysis type of neural, and it's what it does is it scrapes Twitter, Reddit, and other social media sites. It's able to on the fly determine if people are talking about cryptocurrency. Well, we're going to be doing focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're talking about it in a positive or negative light, and I think I've said it time and time again, as opposed to the equity market, no one really goes and talks about their favorite mining stock on Twitter. That doesn't really happen. But when it comes to cryptocurrencies, everyone loves to talk about their cryptocurrencies, and that is one of the very unique things about the cryptocurrency market. But it gives us very, very, very rich data, because market sentiment indicates market psychology indicates market action, and so there's been of course a lot of research on this. In the last couple of years, we thought, okay, well, sentiment is something that we are going to be have been working to our ecosystem to now, but of course we want to hedge again, right? So pull in as much data as we can to make a decision. And the last one is basically a combination of the two, which is a sentiment bot and sentiment alpha, and a neural that uses a combination of machine learning and technical analysis and sentiment to make decisions. I call it alpha baby neural, and then gamma kind of like neural senior, and that's the best way to kind of visualize both. What else we have? Our alpha is pretty close, and I've said imminent. It's imminent. You've got there's a couple of things that have to be in place, of course, on the infrastructure side, to make dashboards, whatnot. Make sure the website's good and all that. That's pretty much on the Athena side what we've had, and just through the white paper here to make sure I didn't miss anything. Canis. Let's just go Canis. This is what excites me. So reality, what are your thoughts? I mean, you've read this thing. What are your thoughts of Canis? I want to hear from you.
Listen, I think it's caused a lot of controversy and people guessing might be as such, but
we always it's just a thing. I think like no matter, there's always controversy. Like it's just I said I'm like it's I don't know. I love it. I kind of love that. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's incredible, really. Having read through it, I mean, some of the crypto community were extremely excited for the Shibarium system. Many have wondered why Shibarium team was aware of our existence prior to launch. You know, you're really putting out, I mean, as I've said it a million times, you can lead to water, but you're really spelling it out. You know, why was Shai engaged with us so much? And they're only pretending to be an artificial intelligence token, which is now much, much more. You know, and I know I'm reading that straight from here, but it's nice to talk about what we've actually put in black and white as well.
Yeah,
so, you know, a DeFi solution that if done correctly, it's you know, will form a basis for many DeFi protocols. You know, it's absolutely, to be honest, going back a little bit, and I will just talk about Canis in a second. You know, when I was doing frequently asked questions a little while back that were coming through, and people were asking a lot of things which actually were leading to, interestingly enough, you know, will Athena, because of course at this point most people were expecting it to be one bot or some, but you know, will Athena be reading trends? And I think that's a really interesting one. You know, how you can create something, and this really is where the artificial intelligence side comes in, isn't it? You know, how can you create something that actually reads through social media sites, Twitter, market is going, because as you said yourself, you know, that the psychology is what determines the outcome as such.
Exactly.
You know, and I mean, how does that even work? You know, I mean, what does it read? Does it? And I'm sorry to I know I've digressed a little bit here, but
yeah, of course,
I wanted to get onto this beforehand, because when you were reading this out to me, I was just thinking, how does that even work? Whose tweets is it reading? What papers is it reading? How does it get the information and then feed it to a point where it reacts in a certain way? Like, can you dig into that a little bit? I mean, it's mind-boggling.
Without giving too much, I would say that basically what it does is it just continuously pulls in every line of tweets. We can target certain accounts. We can target certain hashtags. We can pull in as much data as we want or as little as we want. And what we do is we set certain keywords, right? So we're looking for certain keywords that people say. You can even do emojis that people use to indicate. You know, there's a certain string of emojis that are considered illegal to use, right? You know, that is a bullish signal. If a lot more people are using rockets or something like that. But when it comes to the filtering, of course, there's certain obstacles. I mean, you know, one thing that you run into with these types of things is figuring out, are people being sarcastic, right? Sarcasm is very, very hard to read. So it's not as easy as it sounds, but it's just sucking in a lot of data from certain sources.
Sound easy, to be fair.
No, it's
it
sound easy, but it's not easy. But like it's so there's also certain biases that you have to adhere to. So for instance, I'd say Twitter is like the most you know, kind of free market type of conversation area where everyone kind of yells into the void. Whether they're bullish or bearish, and they flip their sides, you know, no one really cares. Whereas, you know, you go to a place like Reddit, if you're in a Reddit thread, in the Bitcoin thread, like you're pretty entrenched in that coin, right? So you could be biased on whether Bitcoin is going up or down. So do you want to get signals from the Bitcoin subreddit? Probably not, right? But the cryptocurrency subreddit might be a good place to go. So there's little things that you have to there's nuances, and there's nuances in all of this, but it has to take all this in based on the parameters that we set and decide on the fly, hey, are people happy? Do they think it's going to go up? Do they think it's going to go down? Do they think the Fed meeting is going to go well? Like whatever it is, it's always down to keywords, and that's for honestly, like with that type of stuff. That is why we have two teams. That is why we've hired more people. There's no way that I could sit here and do this myself well.
Sure.
So exactly right. So right, I mean, if you think I can, thank you for that. But it's so we got people who are a lot smarter, PhDs and whatnot. And we split. What's cool about this, how we've done it, it's still an experiment, right? So if we had just the same set of people doing Athena alpha, beta, gamma, you kind of duplicate decisions. Like it's just how processes work. So how it is that there's a wall in banking. There's everyone who's in banking knows this. So you have a wall. Information that doesn't go from one side to another. And so we have one team, an alpha and beta, because we have that's neural and neural like baby neural and the neural with the sentiment, and then we have bigger neurals, neural senior, as team 2, right? So it turns into Athena having two birds essentially, right? Which allows us to kind of hedge against ourselves in phase 1, which is again something that is very, very important to us, is being able to continuously hedge against risk of downturn. So I that's the best I can explain on the neural side, or the sentiment side, without giving people, or I saw immediately after this came out, I saw a token launch, bought, and suddenly they're talking about sentiment analysis, and I was just like, come on, guys, like. So I'm not going to really go give away the sauce, but but it also, so when we were going to Canis now, which I think America? I think America was the one who figured this out immediately. Was that Canis feeds in money market information back into Athena, and that's kind of the connection between the two, other than of course the hedging between the two sources of income. I also can't say income, two sources of ETH, and so it's basically another way to understand where the market's going. So if you look at any of the lending platforms within DeFi, whenever there's going to be a major move in price, the lending markets, the money markets, give certain signals, and it's one of the things that it always happens, and so people do actually make trades based on money market moves, and so we thought, well, to be able to first create our own money market and then use that data to feed back into our other side of the ecosystem. And so is it okay if I move to Canis, or do you have any more questions on
No, we definitely should move on to that.
Staking. We forgot staking.
To Canis.
We forgot staking.
Okay.
Staking was another thing. Sorry.
All right, let's put Canis on the side.
Yeah. There is always, there is no secret, so I keep forgetting that there's things that we haven't told. So the staking side of things, there's a big risk when you have everything in staking in one kind of pool. So for instance, Athena beta is doing terribly that day. It's down 10%, 20%. And Athena alpha and gamma are up collectively 10-20%. What happens to the funds in the pool? Right, nets out basically, or it's reduced. And so if it's reduced, then what happens is that the incentive for anyone to stake is reduced by the amount of revenue that's lost. It's just economic. And so by splitting them out, it allows people to choose which staking pool they want, they like and understand. Alpha, sure, go for it. If they like the yield of alpha, it's giving you more. They like that, go for alpha. Same thing with beta, same thing with gamma, and stay within the ecosystem and be able to kind of game things, right? The other thing too is that a lot of people were asking about liquidity, and people were pushing, especially the first 2 weeks, when listing, when Binance, blah blah. We said we're DeFi, and so how does DeFi protocol increase liquidity? Yeah, how do they increase liquidity? And so you notice there's going to be a larger incentive for LP stakers than there is for single stakers. And so that will be the way that people will be able to see this liquidity expand, because it's going to be more lucrative. Oh my God, I can't say that word either. It's going to be more beneficial to stake LP than it is to stake single.
Sure. So in relation to the staking side of things, and people can choose the team, I don't know whether you've the information or if you're willing to at this point, but is there a particular, I know that you're not locked into anything, and it's like crypto in general. If you're switching from one to the other, one will go up and the other will maybe not. But can people change regularly? Is it something that you would foresee people changing daily, weekly, monthly?
Oh,
could you foresee maybe people leaning to one in total, let's say? Like what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so there's this again we can't reveal, but there's a bit of, on our end, there's a couple ways to kind of mitigate that, right? Say the exact, but there's a way that from being able to know when it's going to be distributed, right? And so that is the gamification on our side. Also, when it comes to one of the other things is there's a lot of debate right now about posting "quote unquote" yield percentage on any sort of staking page, especially within the United States. So, how are we going to display that? Again, can't reveal that, but it's likely not going to be a percentage yield, right? So it's not going to be a percentage yield. It's not going to be consistently paying out. There's going to be some sort of gamification on our side. We want to make it as safe as possible for all jurisdictions. Of course, we lean on the buy and burns as a fallback, but we're trying to make it as friendly as possible for those of our robots that are in these certain jurisdictions.
Yeah, because that is obviously something of quite a concern of late, particularly in the jurisdictions as we spoke about, and it was also one of the frequently asked questions. You assure that you're not dealing with someone from the jurisdiction. I guess a lot of it falls on the person that's using it. I imagine it's the discretion of the user, as it always is with anything.
Yep.
I can only guess. If they choose to break the law or whatever, it's totally up to them. But yeah, that's the fact that you can switch from one to the other is really awesome. It really. It's not just kind of like, yep, and as I bought NFA, as everyone else did, NFAi, so I'm very happy to put my money in there, because for me, that's the long-term goal. It's not the chart, although that's a nice little bit of cream on the cake. It's, for a long-term investment, for future and, a long time, put your money in something and it's going to yield you results, because it's kind of like putting your, I don't know if you have in what you have, where you are, but for instance, a super engine thing where you might earn more, or you might go down more, or you might, it's a really good thing to have that option for people, because it's not just, as you say, one simple return or one simple yield. It's
exactly.
It's choice.
You can't even say those words. No.
No. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's that. And the thing is, like on a your market psychology side, I always talk about massaging kind of supply side economic. This having the gamification within that will incentivize people to stay within the ecosystem, right, as opposed to leaving. That's a big deal, right? So if you look at one pool, the one pool is down, you're going to leave, you're going to pull out, right? But if you see one of three is down, that's a very, very different decision-making process, right? So it allows people to maximize what they get from the ecosystem and from the experiment, and also allows us to further that supply squeeze, which is our game, our goal. Sorry.
I think one of the most impressive things, and I'm sure everybody listening here would agree, is there's nothing that you haven't thought about. You know, everything is covered, and that is one thing that is a real big factor. And you know, if you've got your money and you know there's a substantial amount of investment going into this for people, and they're put affects the whole entire ecosystem. Whereas, as you said yourself, this way, people can move around. So therefore, the investment's still there. They're not leaving. You know, if anything, people are just coming and coming and coming instead of deciding, hey, I'm out of here now, because surely the money that they've invested first and foremost in the strength of the chart is one thing, but then on the returns as well. You know, and keeping those there and having covered all of those bases, it's impressive. That's super, super impressive. And you don't miss a beat.
I mean, we try. I think we're going to have
that's one of the greatest things about this team. Never miss a beat. Yeah.
Appreciate it. I was going to say that we could, and what's going to be interesting, one of the robots reached out to me last night. We had a discussion about SWOT analysis. And he's going to come up here, I think, after we briefly go through what we can about Canis. And I just really wanted him to kind of present what he did. It was very extensive, looking at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But there are things that there are things that we can do to kind of like increase this. And it's kind of for me, it's like a view into what the DAO type model can do when you're handing it over to the community. And I just wanted people to kind of get a handle on that. But I think, we're trying to keep this under an hour. So let's move to Canis. Let's talk about Canis. Let's start with questions. What do you got?
Okay, firstly, I don't really think people understand how big this really is, to have this as part of the ecosystem. For a lot of people, particularly, a big percentage of people who buy and invest in cryptocurrency are degens, just like myself, and when it becomes a little bit more in depth than the simple, returns on something, it can understand, I guess. So it'd be nice to, if you simplify exactly what Canis is and how it works for for those of us who just want to get a really basic picture as to how it works and what benefit it has to NFAi.
Of course. So within DeFi, lending was something that came out a couple of years ago. And it's what I love about it. It's non-custodial lending, right? So it's all based on smart contracts, and again, to keep it very, very simple, say you are a SHIB whale, you have $3 million in SHIB, and you have taxes coming up. If you're in certain places and you sell that $3 million SHIB, your tax liability is on $3 million. But you look over and you're like, NFAi is I get some NFAi SHIB. What do? If you were in ETH, if you were in you had DAI, you had coins, go to one of these like MakerAve or Compound, you'd take out a loan that is against a certain, you put down a certain amount of your crypto as collateral, or you put down your crypto as collateral, and you get a certain amount, a lower percentage. It's called a loan to value, a very low LTV compared to going to a traditional financial institution, and you get some sort of token. And then you take that token, usually it's a stable coin or whatnot, you get a token, and you take that token and you are able to then invested into AI, for instance, or whatever possible rug or some shitcoin that you want to put into. It's up to you. But you have that loan gives you the ability to continuously invest in the market without causing some sort of capital gain event. So interesting about that is that this has been generally available to all the coins, we'll say in the top 20, top 10, top 20, in some way or another, or most of them, sorry. But for some reason, no one wants to lend against SHIB. And why is that? First of all, no one takes them seriously on the financial side. They still consider it to be a shitcoin, even though it's right up there at the top of the chart. Of course, there's also the fear of volatility, right? But on the financial side, there's ways to mitigate volatility risk in lending. SHIB has their 3 ecosystem tokens representing a market share, an aggregate market share of I think like 8 billion, 7-8 billion. I haven't looked at the chart today, 70 billion. So if no one is giving them the ability to tax events, why not us? Why not us putting up the smart contracts? So we're looking at a market share. Like, if we want to be conservative, we're like, okay, well, there's $8 billion worth of bone leash out there. And a portion of this market wants this lending. They want to hold, but they also want to keep investing or buying tokens. And so, but they can't do it unless they convert to ETH. Again, that could be a tax event. So if we take 10% of that market, 15% of $8 billion market locked into TVL, we will be able to generate revenue that are quite astounding. I mean, you look at Maker, Aave, Compound. I'm looking at Maker right now. The revenue, 1.84 million, 700,000 Aave, 200,000 in Compound, right? Just on revenue, liquidations, all that. Imagine that. Imagine an amount like that being fed back into the ecosystem by burn, staking, whatever it is. I think we're going to be at this point. We're going buy and burn. We don't want it. We have to work on the security of putting it right back into the staking protocol contracts after we've already built them. That's why we haven't made that link directly in the ecosystem chart. But we'll say just buy and burns, right? Coming back in and also providing an economic hedge, because there's 2 different, almost, I wouldn't call them both price agnostic, but price resistant. I call them SBUs, treating business units, but they're right. And so these 2 things we're going after with Athena to disrupt $1 trillion industry, and then going with Canis to disrupt and provide services to a billions of dollars, multi-billion-dollar industry. So I don't want to, I don't really try to get super excited, but I think you can hear me smiling. I'm very excited.
It's,
What? Did I lose you?
Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah. Back. I keep cutting in and out here.
Yeah, I did cut out a little bit there, but I did hear most. You got me?
Yeah, I got you back.
A little bit. That's okay. With the mass. Okay, cool. So the mass amount of revenue, which I think is such an epic proportion, it's very hard to understand how much this could obviously affect the chart and the buybacks and burns. And ultimately, which is something we spoke about, this is going to cause squeeze if I can say that, which is ultimately going to drive the price up, proportionately, absolutely, because there's going to be literally a squeeze on the tokens, if I'm not mistaken, and that's just one aspect of this. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So the one thing that we like to do is that we want to go for being one market, right? And that's the biggest thing. So we have a monopoly essentially as a neural AI type platform on the side going after $1 trillion industry. So, as people start going the narrative, we don't have to only go long and only stable. We can also hold NFAi as a hedge to our portfolio. Then that starts, and you start getting squeezed there because everyone or most people will be staking to get the benefit of whatever Athena's capital is, or Ethereum that they're bringing. Not them, but it's Trinity. Athena's bringing back in, and so the same thing with Canis. You were looking at a number 1 or number 2 position, depends on who comes next, but we have monopoly right now. The only source of lending that would be on Shibarium for the Shibarium ecosystem, representing a potential market of billions of dollars. So, what could that do to the chart if we get 10% of the market? What happened if we get 1% of $1 billion in? And it's going to, compared to the market cap that we have now, say nothing happens from now till, I'm sure things will happen. Nothing happens from now till Canis. And we reap, just on Canis, we reap, let's say, that $1.84 million. And we're still at a market cap of, what are we at, like 617? Goes back in the chart. Buys and burns, right? What happens?
Yeah.
What happens, right? People see a big, big green candle. They scramble. Portion of the market always scrambles to buy tops. I'm sometimes one of those. And you're scrambling to buy the top, and there's no tokens there. So price of the token, it continuously increases. It's a supply squeeze, right? And so these, it's very rare to see that happen in crypto, because for that to happen, you have to have usually it's demand side economics, right? It's people rushing because of marketing or something that they're rushing to get the token. This is supply side catalyst. It's not really something that is really seen before. I don't think it's ever been seen in cryptos before, and that's part of the experiment. So Canis, I am very, very excited to do this. As an economics nerd, it's just super cool to me. And this is one thing that the reason why we were engaging this year too, and the reason why they've been watching, and in contact with us, and this it provides that benefit. Because if we're TVL mock up 15% of all SHIB ecosystem tokens, that provides a light, change to their economics also, right?
Yep.
Okay. So there's the last thing on that. Okay, we're trying to keep this in our hour. I want to just check do you see any questions in Discord? I'm looking at my computer and I don't think it's loading. I'm going to check my phone, but I think there's questions that we need to address. Nothing else? Oh, no, here we do. We do.
Yep. No, that's it.
Let's see. We have every transaction is real and burning.
We got questions in the chat, sorry, but we know hands up.
Yeah. Do you mind?
That's Yeah, absolutely. I've been reading them there. That's okay. And we've got to bring up a speaker as well after to run through the SWOT analysis. So let me just run through here. Jen Professor, who is of course one of our, let's say, most eager investors, and one of the greatest people who supports NFAi, of course, as an influencer. One of many.
And he is literally a gem. Literally a gem. Lovely guy.
He is literally a gem. He is. 3 questions. Not sure how serious we can get. But, when Shibarium, when Athena, when Lambo. So I kind of covered them anyway. Marisa, will Canis offer a liquid SHIB product as collateral like ST ETH?
Can't answer that question.
Okay,
great
good.
Question. Mark is always on it. Always on
great
it.
Question.
Always.
Yeah.
Always, everyone, whatever America says, there's so many times since we launched where America said something and I'm just like, God damn it. You're on it.
Yeah. Actually, I I remember America's questions in the FAQs.
Yeah. Oh, they were like, that's why I was like, maybe hold off on putting those
after
up. Right?
Alpha rolls out, is there a set interval for beta and gamma to come online?
I need you to.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Did you get the last question? We're a little bit delayed. Okay.
Yep.
After Alpha rolls out, is there a set interval for beta and gamma to come online? I know that's probably a not-be answered question, but I'm gonna ask the question.
It's gonna be the exact same system. You know, we talked about measuring twice and cutting once. When it's ready, and that's when it goes out.
Cool. Good answer. As always, we know that with every transaction in the Shibarium network, some Shiba is going to burn. How will the burning mechanism of Shiba in our ecosystem be? Will it be part of the profit from Athena? Well, sorry, that's one question on it.
Ask that again.
What will the burning mechanism of Shiba in our ecosystem be?
Oh yes, yeah. So it's not providing a burn to SHIB per se. It's providing a supply reduction, right? So it's the burning is permanence, and there's a lot of protocols that are providing that, but we're providing them a reduction supply that is attractive, but also allows them to still maintain like liquidity. So with lending protocols, those guys will have to have timed locked staking. Usually there's a portion locked for different intervals, and then a smaller portion is liquid just because it's lending. But it's by them being locked up, it provides, you say 15% locked up for an average of, 15 days, 30 days. What happens to the chart, right? What happens to any chart if you lock up supply for 15 days, portion of supply? It allows them to exactly, and that's just basic economics. So that is what we're providing in lieu of a burn. It's an attractive way for these whales, especially, to invest in the Shibarium ecosystem without their ship. So that's why we
of course there would
go ahead.
Be a lot of people, people who have obviously become whales in Shiba, and they're holding, know what's coming, and you physically can't use it without selling. To have to leverage against that, if that's the correct term, and use money to invest in other things, it is absolute genius. And that's I don't really think people can see the true strength of what this is going to bring, and the true value, if you like. It's absolutely it's impressive, and to be able to sorry, go.
No, you go ahead.
No, I had finished it. Anyways, it's just, I think I'm on about a 4-second delay. So what I should do is I'll say over at the end, like we're on a CB or over the air radio. Over.
All right, Roger, Charlie. All right. Yeah. So that the best way to say this.
Roger, Charlie. Right? Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Before you leave that point, I just want to say this. I want to say this. So if you are having trouble understanding lending, there are resources, of course, and if you don't want to do that, I would tell you to go pick up your phone, open the calculator, and go 8 billion multiplied by 0.1, and and look at that as a potential TVL, and then look at the white and protocols and compare it to the TVL. 0.1 could be very, could be not a conservative number. Then take it down again. 0.05, 0.02. What do you think the TVL would be, and how does it compare to the other protocols that are there and their TVLs, and then the revenue assigned to those TVLs? If you look at that and you go, okay, well, man, we might be $200,000 a month, $1 million a month, whatever you think it is. and compare it to our current market and think about what that would do to our chart. That's all. Over.
That's all. That's to give everyone who doesn't have a calculator in front of them. A billion, I believe, is the same. It includes 9 zeros. Times 0.1% is 800 million. Would I be wrong in saying
Exactly.
that?
So if that's too much of an optimistic estimate, take it down a peg. Okay, but you look at it, you compare it to our white paper. You go, okay, do I have it pulled up here? Second, I just changed it to look at the TVLs of other stuff. Okay, so we say you look at the TVL of Aave, of MakerDAO, and of and Compound, and you go, okay, that's their TVL. That's how much is locked up. So MakerDAO 7.4 billion, Aave 4.95 billion, Compound 1.56 billion. How much revenues are they making based on that? And of course, there's nuance how they set up their system, but you're looking at we're trying to suck capital from billions of dollars, and on one side, and trillions on the other side with Athena. It's a very, very fun experiment. I keep saying that, but it actually is. It's pretty cool. Over.
Bumba, I'm just for the sake that we are a few seconds delayed, and thank the when am I going to get good internet? To be fair, I'm running ridiculously fast internet right now, so I'm going to leave stage and then rejoin, and hopefully that will fix the delay. So just give me, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me? Bumba? Anybody?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. JP, yes. Yeah, I think it might be Bumba's end, actually, to be honest. I'm not sure, but you can hear me all right, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just want, testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's always funny, man, when you think about it. We're all talking sides of the globe, so there he is. He's back.
All good. All right.
I says so. You guys are gonna probably have to mute your mics when I'm talking because it's gonna echo like crazy. But okay, what's
Sure.
yeah? But you can hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man. Yeah, it's honestly the delay was terrible.
Oh my god, yeah.
Should I just leave and come back?
Yeah.
But anyway, here you are.
Thanks so much. Yeah, so let's get to some more questions. There's a good one that JP's pointed out from the suggestions channel. So I'm just going to pull that up on my phone real quick. Okay, so we have, let's start with, this one is just a question. Okay, create ETH, WC, okay, only staking pools, delegators of ETH, okay, and outsource trading with Tina. So I'm just reading it really quickly. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's read this one out. So create ETH, WBTC, and USDC only staking pools where delegators of ETH, WBTC, and USDC can outsource trading their assets to Athena, and a commission is being charged as no NFAis being staked and appointed to NFAi holders. But this means Athena can scale in TVL separate from NFAi token valuation tax and brings additional value to NFAi tokens and the protocol as a whole. That is a great point. And something like that will have to be dependent on the equivalent of ETH, BTC, and USDC on Shibarium. So great idea. Definitely going to screenshot that, but it depends on the token makeup within Shibarium. Oh my god! Can you? This is. Okay. I'm gonna get my AirPods again.
We got you.
This is horrible. 1 second. Sorry, guys.
I'm hearing you. We can hear you perfectly fine, actually.
Trying my AirPods.
All right. Can you translate what imminent means? I think imminent is easy to translate. Imminent is the new soon. I love it. Imminent, by definition, I believe, is very soon.
Perfect.
All right, Bumba.
Yeah, I'm back. This is sorry, I'm on 2 different Discords and they keep switching me back and forth on voice. So did you guys hear my answer to that question? Or yeah, did you hear my answer to that last question or not?
You did say you were going to screenshot. It's a very good question.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just pulled
Cool.
this Discord on the computer. Yeah. So it's so my answer to that is that it's a very good question. The only issue is that we don't even know if there's going to be the equivalent. I'm sure someone will make the equivalent of ETH, BTC, and USDC on Shibarium, but that's something that is kind of a trade secret. They haven't revealed that. But if there's stable coins there, of course, there's a way to do that, and it's a great idea. And it's again, I said I'm going to screenshot and I will. Next question, I noticed one on making the UI as friendly for us that do not see well, all for blind people. So I wear glasses, so what I'll do for you is I'll take my glasses off and check, and if my mole vision can see it, then maybe it's okay. But we'll try to do things that at least with the scalability of the site, maybe we can make sure that the text scales a lot better. But yeah, that's a great point, Alex, and we'll definitely look into that. That also. Any other questions we have missed so far?
Is Canis the first part of broader DeFi ambitions for NFAi?
So right at this point, we did mention that there's a phase 4. Without ruling too much. Phase 4 is it's going to be the vision that we have is every single SV or every single phase, except for the DAO. The DAO is not hedged. The DAO is more of an operational thing, but it hedges against each other. So if we have 2 DeFi plays, would it do a third DeFi play? No. So phase 4 at this point is going to be a non-DeFi utility play. I can't reveal exactly what it is. It's something that I worked on at the end of my master's program years ago. I've always wanted to do, but it kind of brings real world utility to crypto, outside of crypto. And that's going to be kind of the third hedge to make it more price agnostic. And then after that, we can come back and start building more, unless I'm really tired and I don't want to do this anymore, then someone else can take over and build some more DeFi stuff. But having lending is the crux, the infrastructure that is absolutely necessary for any successful blockchain and any successful DeFi ecosystem. So that's the first building block, and then you can build on top of it. And the DAO will do something cool. Again,
Mirika said his phase 4 meat space finance.
It's OnlyFans, and Athena. It's going to be Athena images. OnlyFans. That's what we're gonna do. So Smedward, I really want to give him some time. I know we said an hour, but he deserves some time. If he still wants to do it, can you give him the stage? Get him up here.
Is he? Put his hand up if you can. Because I'm just put your hand up if you can. So you come to the. There he is. Yep, got you. He did have his hand up actually. And let's add him to the stage. Invite to speak, Schmedward. You are free, sir. You are muted, and thanks for joining.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Perfect.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having
Thanks
me
so
on.
much. Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks so much for doing this. And just I think Bart just put something. Bart, I'll answer this after.
Yeah, so I mean, being sensitive to the time here, I know, we could potentially bridge this to another town hall in the future, but
Oh yeah.
are there any particular things that you want to cover right now at this time?
Do you have it on your screen right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind just sharing your screen for
Sure.
everyone? Yeah. So the reason I want to do this is because we had a discussion early on. I don't know if many people remember. I mean, we had a lot less holders, but I talked about the importance of, when we talked about what is not FUD, negative criticism, blah blah, but the importance of having a SWOT in our white, or going to have to be one, of course, but first white paper we had a little mini SWOT to show the potential, external and internal, and the risks, external and internal. And so you're going to see a bigger version of that I'm very, very impressed by when it loads.
Yeah, so I put together this SWOT analysis. I won't read it, of course, but
yeah.
I think, first of all, the reason I put this together is because I'm aligned behind the project, which I think is one of the biggest strengths of NFAi and the way that the launch was done, the token launch was done. I think there's going to be plenty of people like me over time who want to help out, even though we're not officially employed by the project. And I think this is just my way of not only clarifying my own thoughts as I think, trying to do my best to help out Bumba and the team as they think through what challenges lie ahead and how to navigate this. I think the strengths are pretty clear, like they're the reasons we're all here. I don't think there's anything particularly mind-blowing here. I think the things that I would call out are just that this is one of the few crypto projects where the token actually represents real economic ownership in a project. I think most of the time the token value accrual mechanism is pretty hand-wavy. But that's not what's being done here. I mean, holding the token entitles you to actual revenue from the project, which is actually pretty mind-blowing for this space, and I think really amazing. And the other thing that I think is really powerful is just the virtuous cycle that gets created by having the community behind the hedge fund, behind Athena. Basically, we're all incentivized to give our insights to Athena, which becomes valuable data for Athena's algorithms, which hopefully in turn helps Athena outperform the market, which then helps grow the community, because as those big green candles come in, more people will want to take notice and buy in. So I think that's really powerful as well. Any thoughts on strengths there that you want to touch on, Bumba?
Can I just ask you? I don't. Screen is sharing. It looks like it's loading a screen, but we're not actually getting anything.
Let me try again. You seeing it now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think you're delayed again, though.
I'm just getting like it says stream failed. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Cool. Crack on.
Bumba, are you able to see it? Well, in any case, I'll keep going. Hopefully other people are able to see it and able to catch up.
Yeah, we've got some people in the chat saying they can see it fine. Yeah.
I go through in the rest of this doc, weak opportunities, threats. I don't know how much Bumba actually wants me to go through. I worry a little bit about this being perceived as FUD, of course. But if there's one thing that I want to call out here that I think is really, really important and can probably be a community effort to figure out is just how to talk about NFA and what NFA is building. I think what NFA does is very complex, hard for people to understand. It's not something that you can just sort of take a quick glance at what NFA is doing and just sort of completely understand it, which I think leads to a difficulty in creating a good narrative around it. There's not some pithy statement that you can make where it just gets it. And I sort of put at the end here, like there's buzzword bingo involved where there's a lot of buzzwords that people use: decentralized, AI, neural net, hedge fund, DeFi, lending. They're all complex. I think one thing that would really help out is if we had not just a does, but what the mission is. Like what is the reason that we're all here? What is the thing that brings us together beyond just making money? What are our ideals? How are we building a better future? I think being mission driven is going to be really important in the future. Otherwise, we'll just attract a bunch of mercenaries who want to make money. And I think that, inevitably that leads to. So I'm hoping that, this is something that the team is thinking about, something that the community can help out with, and something that, make really crisp so that in future spaces, it's really easy to describe. I'll stop there and see if anyone's still with me.
Okay. The stream is coming through fine. You can hear me, Bumba? Seems we've lost Bumba again. It's technical issues, guys. So sure, that's some really awesome insight, and to get people like you from the community and people who do want to put their time and really feel part of the team is it's an absolute honor, and it's a real testament to the strength of the team, what they deliver, and people willing to give their own time. To assist and help help build, which is essentially what the community is. And without the community, there isn't anything. And I'm sure everybody agrees in the 52 audience here that the community here is absolutely incredible. The Discord and the chat and all the different channels. The attendance to all of the AMAs and everything else is just something else. Shmedo, that was absolutely awesome, man. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. And I hope everyone can hear me now. But just wanted to kind of suggest, if it's okay with you, because it's a Google Doc, maybe we turn this into kind of a shared document that people can edit within the community somehow, and add to as we go forward and as new things are released and we discuss things more and more. It could be just a good kind of like thing to add to all contribute to. And on the branding side of things, the vision, we've been in talks a lot with the branding because, we again, I always say this, we thought we were going to be a lot smaller than we are now. There's been a lot of talks in the other groups of bringing branding a little bit more to the forefront. And part of that is that vision, that message. And, you can't have me being wordy and talking about this in a complicated manner, but of course we run the balance of, simplifying things, yes, but not too simple so that we sound a bit like we don't know what we're talking about. So that's why I'm not in marketing and branding, but those guys are on that, and you're going to see some things in the next few weeks that will make us look a little bit more cohesive, I'd say, on that side of things. So I really, really, really thank you for taking the time to come up here, man. And I hope to have you up here a lot more. And anyone else in the community who ever wants to take the stage and talk, hit me up before. and we can get you on. But if it's okay with you, man, could we turn that into like a group document somehow if we found a way to do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. We can chat offline and just figure out the best way to do that.
Yeah.
But happy to share anything I put together. Any docs, any writing, whatever.
Cool, man. Cool. No, thanks so much, and really appreciate you taking the time. Reality, what do we got for any outstanding questions? Just because I'm on my screen, I'm not going to be able to see them. So if you can read out any more.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, we've got a few more. We'll try and keep it within the time period, but there is a couple more here. Will NFAi remain on ETH mainnet, or do you have any plans to move to Shibarium or the L2?
No, NFAi is going to stay on ETH.
Yep, easy answer. And let's see down here, what security protocols have been implemented to protect the DAO? I can answer that. I mean, the DAO, we did speak about the security protocols implemented and things that DYDX are implementing as well. So that's certainly something that can be addressed a little bit later in, I believe, once the DAO is fully up and running. Someone said, which is never so good. Can we share the SWOT analysis? Yep. So that's going to be done. It's kind of like an NFA Wikipedia almost. The community can add, which I think is a really cool idea, actually. It's a nice one to start. And how do you ensure that the Trinity is resilient to sudden and unforeseeable market shifts or crashes, particularly when using data-driven strategies that are heavily reliant on historical patterns and may not account for unprecedented events? Will the Senti analysis prevent that, or just the SL? And when do I get better Wi-Fi? Which I would just put my hand up and say I don't know if it was my end. But did you get that question, Bumba?
Yeah, I did, and I guess I just threw you on the bus. I think I told everyone that you were living in a bunker. It's
almost.
So for that question, it's stop losses. Stop losses are what does that. If we are doing any sort of naked strategies, that's scary. So no, stop losses are what kind of help us. And the only risk that you run with a stop loss is if you I know that you know this, Bart, given your background. But if the candle moves too fast, we're talking about a flash crash, 15 seconds or whatever. That's the only risk that you can get some of your stop loss filled, or if you're really unlucky, none. So, but we have to rely on stop losses. That's the only thing the market offers to give us a kind of a last line of defense.
Sure, and hopefully using all the data that you will be using. A lot of this will be without using the word predicted, but certainly you'd have some intelligence as to whether these kind of things are going to happen in the future. Does Athena do multiple trades in the same time? One question?
Yes.
Yes.
It's Trinity.
Okay, Trinity, exactly. That's pretty much covers most of them. I'll just see if there's any hands up in the chat before I move on. We can tie things up. I think it's been absolutely informative, and it's really nice to talk over that final white paper that was released, because that was ultimately one of the biggest ones of his course so far, and there's quite a lot for people to take in there. And I do, as I said a lot earlier, it can be quite a lot to understand and to take in. When there are so many different types of learning types of people and understanding. Some people just want the facts, some people want all the details. But we certainly have simplified a lot of things as well, that's for sure. So it's been really awesome in that respect. So Bumba, I think that pretty much covers. I'll just see if there's any more questions in the chat before we tie things up. Very nice for everyone to.
I'll jump into the chat afterwards and see if I can tie up any other questions. Thanks for doing this. Next time, someone said in the chat, ETH Demon, maybe do this on Twitter next time. Yeah, we should probably do the town halls on Twitter next time. Having people in the Discord is more of a marketing thing, because Discord for us, just talking about the protocol and updating. Yeah, why not? Let's just do it on Twitter next time.
Sure, might be a little bit more reliable.
Yeah, maybe.
There is one gentleman up. Should we take that question before we move on?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Alex, I'll invite you to speak, sir. Just bear with me. Let's go. Invite to speak. Alex W., you are on the stage, sir. You should be on the stage. Invite to speak. You are invited. Just accept the invitation. Jump on up and please ask your question. Calling Alex W. Alex W., I can see the green on your hand, and where is he gone? He's disappeared. Okay, that's fine. We can always answer that. He's put his hand back down again. We can always answer that in the Discord chat. So, okay, Bomber. I'm just going to summarize a little bit as to everything we've gone through. So,
Alex has a hand up again. So I'm just.
Oh, yep, Alex, you should be able to join. I've clicked invite to speak. So I don't know why that's. Yeah, you should be certainly up there, sir. Invite to speak. Maybe you can give it a try, Bomber. And
yeah, I just sent a request too. Okay, if I'm working on Alex, if you want to talk one-on-one, we can talk one-on-one on a call too.
Yeah, that's always good. Okay, so it's been an hour and 13. It's been a very, very informative chat, and we've covered quite a lot in relation to, of course, the latest medium, and we covered the 3 different types of bots, the sentiment, of course, the neural and sentiment, which is team 2, which is Gamma, and Athena first, which is team 1, index focused neural, Athena beta or beta, which is sentiment, team 1, and Gamma neural and sentiment, team 2, which is of course a combination of 1 and 2. And of course we've spoken about Canis and the massive benefits of Canis to the ecosystem, as well as some staking information, and we've taken some questions as well. It's been very, very informative. It's really nice to see where we're going, what the project is the next phases are, and it's in black and white. It's written on the medium. If you have any questions about it and you haven't had an opportunity, of course, to ask tonight, certainly do ask in the Discord, because everybody that's in here, of course, is in the Discord, and any of the team are always available. Of course, as Bumper said, he's also willing to do a one-on-one as well, and it's been brilliant. So NFAi holder, AI trading, Shibarium, and lending. One of the best memes I've seen in quite some time. AI trading, NFAi holder. I said that correct. Shibarium and lending. Thank you very much, everybody. Understand whatever you want to ask. Jump in the Discord. Don't forget to follow the medium. There's only 78 people following the medium, yet we have thousands of people. So please jump on that, follow that. Of course, we'll update that anyway. Any last words, Bumba, before we tie this up?
No. Thanks so much for bearing with us, and I look forward to, and the team looks forward to helping to answer your question after this.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Very, very good. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us for an hour and 15 of talking. And tie this up. There will be a recording, of course. Don't forget to share NFAi to everybody. And hope everybody has a fantastic morning, evening, and an afternoon wherever you are. Thank you very much, and we look forward to chatting to you on the next one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.